love teachers. I love what you do, what you stand for. You guys are the real heroes.
I asked to meet with you because you come highly recommended as the best sub on the call sheet.
That's a somewhat dubious endorsement.
I'm Mr. Barth. For those of you who haven't heard, this is English 11A.
I understand you're angry.
I used to be very angry, too.
So what's your story?
Story?
What happened to you?
Between you and me, you look like you got more problems than me.
Hey folks, Jim from the Movie One, and I'm here to review Tony Kaye's Detachment, now on demand. Adrien Brody plays Henry Barthes, a substitute teacher who goes from one school to the next in order to avoid any emotional attachment to his students or colleagues. Taking in the young prostitute, Henry hesitantly forms a connection with the student body and the administration, or at least that's what the film wants us to believe. Detachment is an admirable independent effort, but just because the film has more integrity than many studio films, that doesn't make it good. Detachment is relentless, but not to the film's benefit. Written by Carl Lund, an ex-teacher, the film is for the most part bleak to the point where it starts to fall into melodrama. Some may argue that it's a realistic depiction, and while that may be true, the film tries to do too much in not enough time. It tries to provide commentary on the educational system along with parenting. It goes into the lives of troubled teenagers and struggling teachers, but as good as Brody is, his storyline doesn't complement the others. His growing bond with a young prostitute seems overly familiar and dull, and as we see more insight into his past with his suicidal mother using what looks like film footage, it threatens to stall the movie. Towards the second half of the film, Henry seems to have gotten the respect of his students. How? I'm not entirely sure. We rarely spend any time in the classroom getting to know these students, except for one girl who is verbally assaulted by her father due to her weight. Naturally, she develops feelings for the sad-eyed and sensitive teacher, which will of course only lead to more melodrama and confusion for the faculty and staff. Kaye has assembled an impressive cast as the faculty. Along with Brody, Christina, Hendricks, Tim Blake Nelson, and James Caan also play teachers respectively. Hendricks at first seems like a possible romantic foil, so it only makes sense that her character will be the inevitable one that walks in on Henry with another student and misconstrues the situation, while Nelson plays a character who feels invisible to his students and his family. James Caan might be the only one bringing a sense of humor and wisdom to an underwritten role. Actually, nearly all the supporting roles are underwritten. As the counselor Dr. Parker, Lucy Liu could have had multiple scenes with several students providing more insight. Sadly, she only has one, and Dr. Parker says something that's a bit hard to swallow, no matter how frustrated she may be with her students. Meanwhile, Marcia Harden has little screen time as the principal of the school, and Bryan Cranston unfortunately has even less to do as her husband. Also, it's a waste to have an actor like Isiah Whitlock Jr. in the film and not have him say the word shit.
Shit. Major crimes. Shit.
Director of another brutally honest but more effective film, American History X, Kaye brings some aesthetic choices to this heavy-handed flick, but he would have been better off if he had just told the story straight. Throughout the film, there are animated blackboard sketches and one-on-one interviews with Henry in a dark room. Overall, while the subject matter is interesting, the execution is not. While Brody gives a strong performance, if you're looking for a character study of a teacher or something that really addresses the educational system, you're better off with the film Half Nelson or the documentary Waiting for Superman. That's it for the Movie Rewind. Have a good day, folks. Until next time.
The worst thing about this job is that nobody says thank you. Well, I am here to say thank you.
I know how important it is to have guidance, to have someone help.